multiple of life. Instead of one day of presents, we get 8.
Crazy. Marcus Conte reporting a little Christmas song there. The good Adam Sandler. He's very talented. I mean, he's a comic and all that shit. But man, he's a good singer, man. He's got his Les Paul out singing about Hanukkah. Put on your yarmulke. So, Marcus Conte reporting. Let's talk about some. Everything is good in America, right? I'm here. It's Sunday morning, trying to put together a little story for you guys, trying to see what's in the news. It's all the same shit, man. Trump got a bunch of new selections on judges. That's not very interesting. You'll fall asleep if I talk about that. But let's talk about something real. You know, it's the holiday season. What about abject poverty in America? How you doing? How is your pocket right now? You don't have to tell me. You don't have to share it. But I guess I'm going to venture to say that most people, about 70% of you watching this, are struggling, are on the balls of your ass. And if you're watching this, it's probably more like 80 or 90% if you're like me, right? So let's talk about the numbers, the evidence, because this is an evidence-based channel. There's a lot of people come by accusing Conte of all kinds of stuff, and throwing their spycraft and their tradecraft at you, trying to confuse the issue of the facts, because that's what all that is. That's what all that LARPing shit is. It's just to confuse people and take their mind off the ball, especially in the Christmas season, right? So, but here we deal with evidence, we deal with factuality, numbers, and such. So let's look at first let's look at this video. This is a pretty cool video. This is for shits and giggles. This is how the guy, UPS guy, delivering the mail. Watch this. It's fucking awesome, right? Awesome. Good job, man. Good job, UPS. UPS is chilling, man. Chilling like Bob Dylan. So here's a couple of stories, right? So homelessness in America. Homelessness, abject poverty. People don't have money in their pocket. And what about Billionaire Row? The billionaires are doing fantastic in this time of year, right? There's only a handful of them. But man, are they doing well? And that should be enough for everybody else to feel good about themselves. Because, see, we have amazing wealth in this country for a couple of people that the system is rigged in their favor. And you should be happy for that because the hope is one day you, too, will be a billionaire. Right? That's what keeps you going, right? It keeps you the pompous view of a broken capitalist system. It stays in place because most people think that someday I, too, will be a billionaire. That's the American dream. Well, it's not working out so well for a lot of people. So listen to these numbers. $3 billion, a vision. This is a vision for you, or for a vision for the homeless in California. $3 billion, 300-acre megacity envisioned for California's record homeless. But there is a twist. So it's just a theory. But it is interesting that the number is $3 billion. Just keep that number in mind. Ask any San Franciscan what the state of California has an excess of, and most likely they will answer homeless people and their extramen, especially with the liberal Mecca recording as many as 16,000 feces complaints in 1 week. That's a lot of shit right there, man. That's some shit. Actually, just ask just about anyone, and the answer will be the same. After all, with 130,000 homeless, California is now home to more than 1/4 of the nation's homeless population. So again, keep those numbers in mind. There's 130,000 homeless in California. So if that's 1/4 of the homeless population, you can then advance that to times 4 would be 260, 450, 400, how much? About about 500, 500, about five, how many billion? I don't even know, man. Jesus, my math is horrible. 3, 6, 9, 12. It would be about $12 billion. I figured it out, man. It's 3 times 4. Duh. So 3 times 4, 3 billion times 4 would be $12 billion to eradicate homelessness in this country. $12 billion would eradicate homelessness in this country. Now, who's going to pay for it, right? That's what you say. Who's going to pay for it? I'm going to show you. So that's just the numbers. Those are the hard numbers that all may soon change. This is a vision of building a homeless center, right? Now, we've had projects in this country for years, right? New York is still full of housing projects, right? And that's originally what it was for, to get people off the street, people try to acclimate them into regular society, right? Because they're colored and they're from here and they're from there and they don't know how to mix. And so we gave them housing, right? But what about now? What about now? Right? With homeless people living on the street. That all may soon change, however, if a new crowdfund effort succeeds in its effort to solve the U.S. homeless crises by building a 300-acre city open exclusively for those without a home. So that's somebody's vision. Qualified citizens, those who meet as yet undisclosed criteria, will be allowed to live in the city and are free to leave whenever they wish, says somebody. Some may never want to leave. According to the press release, the all-inclusive city, which hopes to overtake San Francisco as the mecca of America's homeless, will offer high-density housing in dormitories consisting of sleeping quarters and communal bathrooms with private showers. Additionally, residents would be provided RFID-enabled wristbands to gain access to their dorm rooms, as well as perform tasks such as job check-in, purchasing items with credit, medicine consumption, and more. Look at some of the things that would happen, right? Community, TV rooms, a little hospital, dental and vision, mental health, movie theater, bowling alley. That's exactly, homeless people need a bowling alley, right? I think they might have went too far. Job training, GED certificates. Right? So this is what it would look like. A vision, right? Only for $3 billion you can eradicate homelessness in California. Where are you going to get the money? I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for the homeless people. Just relax a second. Relax a second. So look, you'll get to live in a dorm room. Right here, look, a beautiful complex. All this shit, right? Just for the homeless, right? It's part of the plan, the homeless mecca. Right? So look. So who's going to pay for it? Let's look. Let's see who's going to pay for it. Let's see. So here's his Trump discretionary budget request, 2019. $1.19 trillion. Right, so that's 1,190 billion. 1,190 billion. All right, so $3 billion would solve the homeless problem in California. Right? In a grand fashion, and they set precedents, right? Actually build complexes and such for the homeless, right? Housing for the homeless. Right, but look at all this money. Look at military budget. Right? They jacked up Trump from $700 billion. 61% of all discretionary spending goes to military, and we don't have an enemy. We don't have a legitimate enemy, but we have $727 billion together for what? To hold together the corporate tyranny, to hold together, to keep fear in the world, so that U.S. corporations can go there and loot the countries like they tried in Venezuela recently. But we do it all over the place. We have a military presence. You don't like it, we'll blow you to fucking pieces. We'll park a warship in your yard. But look at all the money, $727 billion. So if you shaved the estimated $12 billion that would end homelessness, you would still have 712 billion dollars to blow people up and carry on the military industrial complex. So you can eradicate homelessness, you could eradicate hunger, right? By just shaving a little bit off the military spending. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, I think it's incredibly obvious. Look where else you could take it from. Maybe, I don't know. Look, community housing is 5%. Just jack that up to 7 or 8%, right? And you eliminate until we could figure out what the hell is going on, right? So that's where you would get the money. See, the market is doing great. Look at this. So this is the S&P at record highs, right? Who's profiting? Who's benefiting from this soaring stock market? You, me? I'm not benefiting from shit, right? Because look, again, the corporations are, the billionaire class is getting fatter and fatter from this kind of thing, right? When the markets are up, and regular people go further and further into abject poverty, homelessness, living paycheck to paycheck. Now, I always throw a number out on this show, and I say, well, 60% of the country doesn't have $400 to their name. I've always said that because I think Bernie Sanders started that statistic. He found the numbers and he kept saying it, and it was pretty accurate. But there's new numbers. Let's find out the new numbers. So I find it very troubling. Most Americans lack savings. Right, they do. Most. So the economy might be strong in the U.S., but nearly 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 stashed away, according to Geo Banking Rates 2019 savings. I think that's a high figure. I think it's more like $500. The poll released December 16 revealed 45% have nothing saved. Nothing saved. 45% have nothing saved. And if you're the kind of person that says, oh, fuck those people, man, get a job, work harder, fuck them, I work for everything I have, you're just gaslit, and insympathetic and lack empathy for your countrymen, for the people in this country. Most people usually are hit by poverty out of circumstance, out of geographics. They're in the wrong place. What is everybody going to do? Everybody's going to move into the city and become city slickers? It's just a fact. Nearly 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 stashed away. That is very troubling. Look at this. 45% have zero, less than $1,000. 24% have less than $1,000. 12% have less than $5,000. 5% have less than. So what we are basically saying is that only 6% of the country has a significant, maybe a year's salary stashed away. Look at this bottom number right here. 6% have $50,000 or more. $50,000 is not a lot of money. It's if you work hard, you make about $50,000 a year, and you couldn't save that. Only 6% of the population has that kind of money at hand. Isn't that despicable? If that doesn't bother you, I don't know what else. But not everybody's doing so bad, right? Not everybody's doing so bad. So New York City's Billionaire Row beats out Hong Kong for title of world's top luxury street. Oh, somebody's doing well. Look at this. This year, the reason was clear. 57th Street here in New York City saw more houses bought for $25 million or more than any other road in the world, says Bloomberg. Bloomberg, oh, he's running for president. He knows how the average people think. The area just south of Central Park beat out Hong Kong's Peak District, whatever. So 57th Street, I've been on this block a lot of times. When you walk it, you don't really notice much because everything is all the wealth is really off the street, for the most part, right? But the buildings are enormous and beautiful, and $25 million a place. So look at this breakdown right here. New York, 57th Street, number of sales over 25 million, 41 this year. The average price is $38 million a home. Hong Kong, number of sales over 25 million, 35. Also in New York on Central Park South, 32 homes on Park Avenue, 20, and Governor Square, that's London, 13. All these luxury homes, right? But 70% of the country doesn't have $400 to their name. Doesn't have let's change it to $1,000. Right? 70% of the country doesn't have $1,000 to their name. Right? And the markets are roaring. Look at this. Fantastic. Right? Here's 2009. Shit went straight up. Right? Trump is a fucking genius. Right? Give the banks 0% interest. Let the Fed keep printing fake money, and let them pump it into the stock market so that they can take their own bonuses, so that the CEOs of these corporations can take their own bonuses, right? And the 1% gets richer and richer and richer. And there's your evidence right there. It's in the statistics. It's in the numbers. Right? That number could go to fucking 8,000 and it wouldn't affect me one bit. Why? Because trickle-down economics doesn't work. We need a new deal in this country, a Green New Deal. Some say Green New Deal, that's part of it. But we need to get money out of politics. Give universal single-payer health care to all. Right? We need to tax the wealthy. We need to stop this obscene fiat money system that eventually will pop. And you know, you think abject poverty in this country is bad now. Watch when this bubble pops. Eventually, it will pop because it always does. It always chokes itself out. So you know, Marcus Conte reporting. You know, a little downer of a story, but hey, man, that's the reality of it. That is the fucking reality.
Just like you and me. David Lee Roth, like Stone Menorah. So do James Caan, Kirk Douglas, and the Weasel Pauly Shore. Castaways together at the carnival.